Faking confidence usually works. What are some cheat codes for life? Walk with a purpose. For some reason, people think you're busy and you don't get hassled. Also, equip a lab coat and clipboard and act like you belong. You can suddenly go wherever you want. A group of mates and I stole a table from our college doing that once. There was a sign and desk at the front of the student center where you had to scan your ID to enter. I walked in with 4 guys in matching shirts behind me, and I was carrying a clipboard. We walked straight past the person at the desk. I pointed out a table and jotted some scribbled down. They packed up one of the tables, and walked out, never got questioned. It's amazing how much you can do if you carry yourself like you're supposed to be there. No one stops a guy or girl carrying a pizza. It can get you backstage to concerts. My dad worked as a line mechanic and kept his hard hat into management in his trunk. I asked him why, and he said you can go anywhere with a hard hat and a tie. Also, I delivered pizzas, and although I never delivered to a concert, security was incredibly lax when I needed access to areas that were restricted. There was actually a delivery though. Take a $1 bill and flip it over. Now tape a $5 bill and tape it to the end of the upside down single with as little tape as possible to make it secure. Now feed the $5 bill into a change machine. The coin machine reads the 5, gives you quarters, then reads the upside down single, rejects that, and boom, you got yourself a felony. If you are punctual, smartly dressed, and quite friendly, you can actually get pretty far in most jobs without being that good at anything or trying very hard. Add to that honest. I learned that if you don't know something, better not BS the other person in case they know you are BSing them. I prefer to be honest and say I don't know, I have to check or something in that manner. Also, boasting about your mad skills is never really helpful most of the time. I work in an office environment and usually when I answer people's questions and find answers they always ask me how I can remember all that. I am very honest with that and show them how to look for the answer or give them tricks to pinpoint their problems. I don't know how to help text to a button in Word, I just know where to look for something like that. When someone says something true, say you're right, not I know. It'll make them feel better and you've still shown everyone how awfully clever you are. And the opposite of that is the Socratic method. When someone says something you think is wrong, ask them questions to see why they believe it. There's 2 possible outcomes. They end up explaining it via some contradiction or ridiculous assumption, and the belief probably was wrong. And getting them to explain it increases the chances they'll actually change their mind. They actually do explain it, it makes sense, and I learned something new. If you're genuinely pleasant to be around and you show up when it counts, people will let you get away with a lot of slacking off. One of the reasons my boss puts up with a lot of my BS is because I do my job. I show up when scheduled, unless I'm sick as a dog or I have a family emergency, and I don't cause drama. You don't have to always give away the recipe. By that I mean, don't over-explain yourself. If you can't do something, 9/10 times it's okay to simply say unfortunately I'm not able to do that, can't swing it this time, etc. You don't have to go on and on about why, or make up reasons and list them off. Over-explaining just ends up looking more suspect than simply being clear and concise. You become the people you surround yourself with. A pretty wise ex-drug user I worked with once told me, if you hang around the barber shop long enough, eventually you're going to get a haircut. Basically, watch the crowd and the activities you surround yourself with. I've seen too many smart kids go down the wrong path just because they hung out with idiots. Inversely, I've seen idiots become pretty successful just because they hung around encouraging, smart kids. I cannot overstate how much dressing well and being well-groomed will impact your life. It'll drop the difficulty by 2 or 3 levels. No joke? People will treat you vastly differently. The opposite is also true. I did this but took it a step further, got my hideously misaligned teeth fixed, got braces as an adult, highly recommended if you never had it sorted as a kid, and holy hell did the money spent pay for itself in no time. Think about it, the less resistance there is to a person wanting to make eye contact with you, the longer and more in-depth your engagements will be with those people, and the more confident you are in turn. This can lead to better jobs, promotions, etc. Ask questions, about everything. Ask people about themselves. Be open about stuff you don't understand, and ask questions about that. When you forget someone's name, own up to it and just ask them. I am amazed at how many people won't acknowledge even a tiny amount of ignorance, or won't show honest curiosity about something. can't admit they've forgotten something they feel is important, and won't ever ask for help. Guys, your life becomes so much easier if you just drop the ego and ask. To seem charming, all you have to do a lot of the time is to be an engaged listener. You don't need an amazing sense of humor to be able to lay on the compliments or regale people with stories. Just listen to other people in a way that shows you are interested and not only waiting for your turn to talk. Make eye contact, don't interrupt them, don't turn the conversation to be about you, ask good questions. Underpromise and overperform. Say you'll achieve less than you think you will and then do more, and everyone will be impressed. As a developer, when I'm given a project I'll add about 50% to my estimated time. It allows for unexpected issues and delays, and if they expect it in a week and you present it in 4 days, they think you're a hard worker. Even if you spent half the time surfing Reddit. The correct response to any compliment is thank you. You can then follow it up with a comment if you'd like to continue the conversation. If someone likes your dress, thank you, it has pockets. If someone compliments your art, thank you, I've been practicing. If someone asks if you're a professional singer because you have a good singing voice, thank you, I just sing for fun. Not only does it make you seem confident and self-assured, it tells them that they are right. That's a friendly thing to do. This even works if you don't believe the compliment. Saying, "Oh, no, I'm ugly," when someone compliments your appearance not only tells them that they're wrong, it makes you think of yourself as ugly. A better answer would be, "Thank you, I really appreciate that and I don't always believe it, so hearing that from you helps." Just be nice, particularly to people in the service industry. Your job, your personal interactions, even your calls in to customer service will go 100% easier if you're just nice to people and recognize that they're probably just trying to do their job, not screw you over. People in customer service jobs, for example the ones answering the phone to irate customers, get a lot of flack whilst trying to help customers out. If you're nice on the phone, they'll be more likely to try to help you out, rather than doing the minimum possible or even going out of their way not to help you, all whilst working within their remit as a customer services rep. When married, don't stop treating your significant other like you did when you were trying to win them over. It is a great way to show them you're still as infatuated with them as you were when you first met. Been with my wife for 12 years, married for 8, and got 3 kids. I hit on her constantly. I think it helps a lot, but it helps more knowing what you want and what they want. When you work together as a team and take that approach, it tends to work better than constantly chasing the butterflies from the early days. I would gladly trade butterflies for being content and comfortable any day of the week. When I was in my old 500-plus person building, I kept a stack of papers on my desk. When I was bored, or got tired of sitting down, I'd get up, grab my stack of papers and walk around. I called them my walking papers and did this for months. Got a lot of head nods and not one question the entire time. People always assumed I was on an important mission, but nope. Not in the least. P.S. Worked on the executive floor or wing, too. If you have no complaints about your food staff at a restaurant, ask to see the manager and pay a compliment and a thank you about the server, host and staff. Usually people want to see a manager to complain, and a compliment is nearly always welcome. I've gotten countless free drinks, appetizers, chips and % off my bill, all for just making a polite comment to management. You can borrow almost all of your textbooks from the library as a college student because of modern book rental agreements most colleges have. WorldCat allows you to be linked to almost any library in America, and all you have to do is find your book in the system and fill out a request form at a library and it should be there in a week. I've saved probably $2,000 doing this in my first 2 years of college. If you admit you're wrong and make changes to whatever it is that you're wrong about, people will respect and appreciate you more. Unfortunately, this requires the swallow_ego.pill patch installed. Without this, you will be incapable of being a civil person. I had a professor in college who, while lecturing, suddenly let out a huge fart. Without pausing, he turned his head as if talking to someone behind him, said "Gesundheit," and continued lecturing as if nothing had happened. It immediately diffused any potential awkwardness and embarrassment, and I vowed to use the same strategy if the same thing ever happened to me in front of a large crowd of people. Faking confidence usually leads to actually being more confident. I love the phrase "fake it till you make it." It's incredible how much success is a byproduct of just acting confident about whatever you are doing. I was planning on asking for a raise later that day, and luckily a very belligerent customer came in who was not going to be allowed in. Really had to stand my ground. Stood up tall, made eye contact, and flatly told her no. Had to do a stare down for a moment before she gave up and stormed out. I'd never had to be like that with a customer before and was internally shaking in my boots. My boss was standing behind me the whole time watching how I'd handle it, and once it was over patted me on the back and said I'd done exactly what I was supposed to, and she was impressed. Got the raise. Pause, like wait. When asked a question or engaging in idle conversation and someone is speaking, do not immediately begin your reply when they stop speaking, they usually aren't done. And in the case of questions, most people aren't finished, and if you give them time they usually provide the answer to the question as well, so yeah, listen as well. People like talking about themselves. When you meet someone, just ask them questions about their lives or the things they've done. If you have enough questions you won't ever run out of things to talk about during the conversation and they walk away feeling so heard. Plus, then you know more about them, and next time you see them you will have even more to talk about or follow up on. Hey, last time I saw you were mentioning this thing at your job, how did that go? Etc. Doing your own research, especially on the important stuff. You would be amazed about the bad information people use to make their life choices. When doing your own research, don't search for things that agree with you. Instead, search for claims against your position. Consider the bias of your sources, but don't immediately reject something just because of the source. CNN and Fox News both spin things in different directions, but that doesn't mean either of them are complete lies all the time. No matter what your bedtime and wake-up time is, stick with it. After a decade of being that person on Facebook at 3 a.m. and off to work 4 hours later, I started to view sleep as an enjoyable activity, not a chore. Game changer. Mornings are never a drag. If I have trouble sleeping, I can make up for it the next morning without messing up my whole day. When it's your bedtime, turn off the lights and wait. And don't touch your ducking phone or your computer. Don't get out of bed, wait. When your alarm goes off, get up. Repeat for 2 weeks. Enjoy a better life. If you're physically attractive you can get away with a lot of things. I have a friend who is a lingerie model, truly, epically beautiful. She had a terrible pregnancy and the only thing that stopped her from puking was eating graham crackers non-stop. Halfway through her pregnancy, she had gained 50 pounds. She didn't look pregnant, just overweight. And she came to me in tears one day, because she was just realizing how mean people could be. No one was holding open doors, offering to carry things for her, giving her extra smiles, discounts, whatever. She had lived all her life with the beauty bonus and had thought most people were just really nice. On a side note, I'm not so sure the beauty bonus is worth it. My two most beautiful friends are both smart as hell, but one is shy. The difficulty I've seen her have getting people to see past her face is shocking. Not the lingerie model, who was happy for people to stare at her chest and underestimate her, and then proceeded to run circles around them. Not asking or talking about drama going on at the workplace. I always put my lunch in the same spot of the refrigerator, every day. Janice knows this. And what do I see on Monday at lunchtime? My lunchbox in the middle of the top shelf. That's what. And I know it was Janice because I asked Denise and she told me that Witch moved it. I swear to God, Janice thinks she can do whatever she wants just because she's in a wheelchair. We'll see how she likes it when I accidentally drop a pair of scissors on her colostomy bag in front of everyone at the productivity meeting. Asking if kids can use their sitting muscles and listening muscles during circle time makes the kids want to show me how strong they are. My second grade teacher had a good trick for keeping our order while she was busy. Like, while she'd be writing someone on the whiteboard she'd say, "In a minute I'll be asking for a helper." And then suddenly the entire class is competing with each other over who could be the most well-behaved. My mom used to do volunteer work in the classroom and she said that trick literally never failed. Believe in yourself. I know it sounds cheesy but it's true. When you believe in yourself anything is possible because you are no longer bound to the expectations of others. Your life truly becomes your own. Close runner-up would be awareness over your thoughts and emotions. More awareness, more control, less reactions, more happiness. Thanks for listening to Radio TTS. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for more videos like this. Click the right box for the Society Lies to You playlist. Let us know in the comments what you think about these codes. Do you use some of these cheat codes already?